All right, by a show of hands, who would be interested in going to Rio de Janeiro if I said I'm paying for your trip? All right, there's a catch though. You have to go swimming in this. Is anybody still interested? This was an offer from Mike Greenberg of Mike and Mike in the Morning to any International Olympic Committee member. This is Guanabara Bay. It's one of the bays where Olympic sailing will be held. Mike Greenberg said that if any International Olympic Committee member went down to Rio with their family and recorded them in the water, he would pay all expenses of their trip. The purpose of this speech is to inform you about the water in Rio and how it could affect the Olympics. First, I will talk about what events are taking place in the water and where. Second, I will explain what is in the water. And third, I will explain how Rio has tried to clean up their water. I am credible to give this speech because of my extensive research in this topic. The first thing I'm going to talk about is where the events are taking place. There are 3 different locations where water events will be taking place. The first is Kopaga Bay, where the triathlon swimming portion will be held, and also the open water swimming portion will be held. The second is Urban Lagoon, where the rowing, canoeing, and kayaking portions of the Olympics will all be held. And then the third is Guanabara Bay, which this is pictured, which is easily the most polluted of the 3, where the sailing events will be held. Now that I've talked about where the events are being held, I'll be talking about what is in the water. To put it bluntly, it's garbage and sewage that are in the water. There is not a sewage system in Rio, so people, what they do with their trash is they dump it in the streams, they dump it in the rivers, or they just throw it in the bay because they have nothing else to do with it. According to an Outside the Lines report on ESPN, sewage levels there are reported to be 1.7 million times what is considered to be an alarming rate. Yeah. So, for those of you curious, like how much garbage is being actually put into this lake, an ESPN article estimated that approximately 150,000 gallons of sewage is put into the bay every minute. So by the time I finish my speech, 600 to 750,000 gallons of sewage has been dumped into those bays where the Olympic athletes will be competing. Now that I've talked about what is in the water, I'm going to talk about what Rio has done to try to clean up the water. In 2009, Rio was awarded the 2016 Olympics with a promise. They promised that they would have their water 80% clean. When they were awarded it, it was at 11%. And as of this summer, it's only at 50%. So they've not had the resources or anything to be able to fully clean up this water. But what they have done is they've had eco boats and eco barriers. What the eco boats do is they go out in the water where the competition is being held with nets and scoop up all the loose garbage. There's approximately 20 boats that they have deployed that are trying to clean this up. And the eco barriers, what they do is they cut off the streams that lead into the bigger bays to try to reduce the amount of pollution that is going to flow in. They have 17 of those, but currently there are only 5 of them functioning. The government is also relying heavily on people that own sailing shops and rowing shops to kind of go out and clean up the area because the government just does not have the resources to go out and clean up all the garbage. Tom Ferry of ESPN said that when the games start, the water will be all clear of physical garbage, but it will not be cleared of the bacteria, and the risk will seriously be there for those athletes that compete in the water. In conclusion, the Rio government has kept their promise to try to clean up the water. Unfortunately, at the beginning, he said the water will be cleaned by the start of the Olympics. He's now changed that statement to say the water will be cleaned. Unfortunately, it won't be until after the Olympics. In this speech, I informed you how the water in Rio could affect the Olympics. First, I talked about where the events are taking place. Second, I talked about what is in the water. And third, I talked about how they've tried to clean this up. Those of you that are curious about this topic more, you can do what I did to start learning about it. Go on Twitter and type in the hashtag RioWater. Thank you.